Oh yeah, welcome back to Captain Coleslaw Outdoors with yours truly. And it is August 15th, so we're actually getting down to the end of the summer and the end of the fishing opportunities here for you. But we still have some life left in the tank, and we got some things to show you here before the school year starts for students and teachers, and summer wanes and cooler temperatures and fall weather. But what we're actually going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to fish for sport fish in what I like to call a eutrophic watershed. So in the last fishing episode that you guys watched, we did the opposite. We fished something called an oligotrophic watershed, which is real deep, clear water, has very low nutrient content, but has a high content of oxygen available for fish to respirate and breathe. Well, this watershed that we're fishing right now is the opposite of that. It's eutrophic. So I'll explain what that means, and I'm going to show you some tactics for trying to catch some big fish out of a watershed like this. I'm praying that they play the game, because eutrophic watersheds can be tough to fish sometimes, mainly because the water quality is just a little bit less clear and it can be harder for fish to detect your bait. But if we can uncover the creatures that are swimming around in this water and get a couple of them on camera for you, you won't forget it, because this is the kind of place where monsters hide. We're gonna pull up to the spot here and get the kayak in the water. We're fishing out of a kayak today, pretty sweet. And I'm gonna show you guys how to get it done in eutrophic water for big fish. Oh, do I love it when the parking lot is empty. Jesus. Oh, I can already tell this is going to be a muddier endeavor. Dip these down. All right, y'all, so while we're paddling, let me explain a little bit about what we're doing. This here is an Army Corps of Engineer dammed lake, kind of like you saw on the last episode. But this is an incredibly different ecosystem. The first thing that you notice is this is more like a river, and that the shores are more flat, consistent to the slope of the water itself. This is a shallow lake. In fact, this lake does not get any deeper than about 20 feet in its deepest pocket. And where we're fishing today, we're not going to fish anything over 15 feet. So this is what they call a eutrophic watershed. In other words, it's the opposite of oligotrophic. This water is shallow, it's extremely warm. Naturally, it's low in oxygen, but it's high in nutrients. So what does that mean for us fishing? Well, in an oligotrophic watershed, we're talking about a body of water that's almost 100 feet deep, crystal clear, nutrient-less water, tons of oxygen. So what that means is the fish can produce energy through respiration very well, because there's a lot of oxygen there. But they have to work really hard to hunt for themselves. So those fish were feeding on the surface very actively as hunters. They were hunting minnows. But in a eutrophic watershed, it's a little bit different. The fish themselves do not have as much oxygen in their watershed to use for breathing. The warmer water does not hold oxygen well, and a lot of it diffuses right out of the water back into the air. However, this does create something that our oligotrophic ecosystem does not have: plant material. So in eutrophic watersheds, the high amount of nutrients and the low amount of oxygen actually allow for weeds and plants under the water to become a lot more abundant. And that will hold fish, just a different diversity of them. Because as those plants use sunlight in order to make sugar through photosynthesis, which is what the plants eat, they do release trace amount of oxygen. And there's enough oxygen produced by those plants in this eutrophic ecosystem for fish to survive. Now there are bass in this ecosystem. There are largemouth and smallmouth bass. But the smallmouth bass are a lot less common unless they're hugging the weed line where there's a lot of plants and oxygen being pumped out immediately. But this ecosystem is much more home to largemouth bass, which are not like the ones we were fishing for in the other lake. These bass are ambush predators. They sit at the base of logs, trees, swampy structure, rocks, and wait for prey to come by them. So these fish are a lot less active as hunters in regards to a chase, but they are an ambush predator. They wait for their prey to come to them as they float by. So there's a lot of science to fishing these eutrophic waters. Still got about a mile to row though. We're rowing quite a ways. This is our workout for the day. And when we get to the spot, I'll show you what we're going to tie on and how it's going to benefit us. Alright, so I think we're where I want to be. So now what I want to do is I want to take a minute to show you guys a little bit about how we're going to approach fishing this eutrophic water. So the thing about eutrophic water compared to oligotrophic water is, like I said, it doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen in it. Well, what that means is there's a lot more insects that can live in this water because it doesn't require as much oxygen. So what we're going to do is we're going to emulate bugs. Now you've seen me use this time and time again on the channel. It's the Ned Rig TRD finesse worm, and we're using black and blue, darkest colors we can, in order to contrast this stained water. And the idea is we're just going to swim this thing off the bottom around sticks and logs as low as we can go in the water column, because the lower and slower we can go, the better chance we're going to have to entice these fish, because these fish are not actively swimming around the river searching for food. These guys are actually waiting for something to swim past them. So we're going to give it a shot, throw up against some of these log jams and stumps that we see. I've actually got amber colored sunglasses. Amber is like a brown, and it actually allows you to see better into brown and green water. So this is like a perfect stealth tool in order to help us find some submerged timber and logs that we can cast at. So we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. I'm optimistic. It's just a matter if the fish want to play. there. That's a good one. Oh, well, good. Good, okay. It's a fish. Smallmouth bass. First one of the day. Little one. Not too shabby, but we're on the board. Oh, there's a bite. Come on, eat it. There's a fish. That looks like a largemouth. Oh yeah, oh, it's a good chunky one. Good chunky one. There we go. Oh, he's pulling us right into where we don't want to go. Oh, he came off, no! Crap. Did not play that fish well. There we go. Nice. Little largemouth, get in the boat. Yes, sir. Oh, that's a baby of what we're trying to get at, but we got him. Well, there's our first largemouth in the boat for the day. Small fish, not the biggest, only about 11, 12 inches. But at the end of the day, we caught largemouth and smallmouth on a eutrophic watershed, just like we did in a oligotrophic. So now, the only thing we got to achieve is some size, because this nice fish, not why we came here though. Right in the timber. Boom. Set him. Another bass. Sweet. Alright, now we're on to something. That's 2 largemouth. Oh, just barely hooked. Oh my gosh. About the exact same size. Definitely a different fish though. Caught him on a different tree altogether. Alright, now we're getting into something here. Now we're going to go get into some prime real estate here. Look at all, we got a lot of timber. A lot of trash amongst it, but you know, at the end of the day, we'll take it. This is where the fish want to be, is up against the wood. We've already caught 4, and I think we're going to pound them out of here, so. This is fun. It's fun catching fish, especially in some numbers. Alright. We don't want to go too far into the trash pile. There's a fish on. I got a fish on. Pike. Gosh darn it. Northern pike ate me right off. Okay, alright. We can play at that game. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to tie on another Ned rig. But what we just lost there was one of the creatures that specialize in this eutrophic ecosystem, and they get big and they get ugly, but they are a lot of fun to catch. I'm going to tie this on, get us ready for some more bass action, and I got a feeling that we're going to be able to catch what just bit pretty easy. I'm going to throw something at him. It'll give him a little bit less ability to bite me off, although he can still bite me off. But we're going to give him a little bit of a larger lure. We're going to throw spinnerbait at him. Spinnerbait with a trailer See if we can't entice him to bite again, because if we can catch him, if we can get him to bite, this would be the epitome of what this lake has to offer. I think I would ever catch one of these dinosaurs. No, it ate me again. That pike ate me again. He did. Son of a... I got him that time. You f***ing idiot. Nice. The culprit has been captured. Sweetness. Let's freaking go. Slimy though. Burn that spinnerbait past this guy as fast as the eye can see. And we ended up getting the creature of the deep. Got you. Look at that. That, my friends, is a northern pike. And he is what this watershed epitomizes in when it comes to species diversity. You see, pike are evolved specifically for this watershed. They love this warm water, shallow and full of timber. This is the kind of fish that is associated with this kind of landscape. So pike are evolved perfectly for this kind of eutrophic watershed. They're long, toothy critters, and they're built for speed and ambush. Not so much for, chasing fish in open water. They literally look like a log. They're actually quite ugly. And if you look inside their jaws, their teeth are absolutely formidable. So this is an awesome catch. This is probably one of the most fun fish that you can catch in this watershed, and it's one that I desperately wanted to show you here because this is kind of unique to this body of water. You can catch northern pike all over the place, don't get me wrong, but they're a lot more specialized for this shallow, warm water landscape where they can blend in with the logs around them than a lot of other species of fish. Basically, when we have caught both those bass, we just drop the lure right on top of their heads. Like if there's timber and it looks like there's a nice log or a branch that they could be hiding under, if we get right on top of it, the fish just comes out and hits it immediately. We haven't had to really work the lure much at all to get these fish. We've just hit them in the head and they come to play. And I anticipate more of that coming up here because there's just a lot of stumps that we've had really good luck on in the past with catching these bass out of here. I just want to be able to show you them today. That's a fish right there. Another nice one in the timber. Stay down, buddy. Ooh, that's a better fish. Much better fish. No, don't do that. Ooh. Okay. He's gonna pull us around a little bit. What I need to do is get him close enough to the boat. I can just whip him. That's a better fish. There we go. Yeah. Let's go. Nice 2-pound bass there. Holy smokes. Barely hooked. Barely hooked, but caught them off that timber as we've been doing over and over again. So this is the kind of fish you get on eutrophic water compared to oligotrophic water. This is a much sturdier specimen here. Probably about 16, 17 inches, 2 pounds. This fish has clearly been feasting on the bait fish and abundant forage associated with these eutrophic watersheds. So pretty awesome fish. Always love getting them out here in the timber like this. And if nothing else, we can say that we've had a pretty sweet day catching some fish, and we got a nice one too. So we're going to end this episode of Captain Coleslaw Outdoors on this nice bass. So like and subscribe if you like seeing this fishing stuff, and if you're learning a little bit about the environment that they're found in. So until next time, shoot straight, stay strong. That's it. I'm out.